All right, everybody, welcome back to Beans No Ball. Week 11 has just wrapped up, so let's just get right into it. We talked about it on Bean Talk. We have a phenomenal slew of games this week, and I mean, boy, did they deliver. Christian, let's start off with the Thursday nighter.
Yeah, let's kick it off with another AFC Classic with the Jets and the Patriots, and this pretty much turned out how exactly how we expected. A little closer, towards the end when really see it. But as for the Patriots, they're just continuing to build their agenda as being one of the top teams in the AFC. Drake May again, he has his own agenda for his MVP race, right? But the bigger picture is yes, we know the Patriots with the team they have, what they work with, the receivers, the O line, and the defense. Drake May's being able to use everything out of it. Traylon Anderson scoring 3 touchdowns. You had him on your bench, so that was a pretty sad sight to see him finally going up, finally finding his rhythm, Vrabel finally knowing how to use him in that offense. But really, it's about hearing the Jets and Justin Fields. So I feel, as we know, Justin Fields didn't have a great game as well. I believe Tyrell Taylor is confirmed to be the starter for next week there too. So Justin Fields is benched. So that's kind of an unfortunate thing to see. Especially since the Jets were my sleeper team coming into this season. But unfortunately for this, Justin Fields hasn't had any shine for this, and obviously not having Garrett Wilson there too really wasn't going to make a difference with whether he was there or not. But we can obviously see there too, lack of receiving, lack of weapons on the receiving end did not help him at all whatsoever. But obviously it's the Patriots division. I think, especially with how the Bills have, I want to say the Bills are struggling. I think as of right now, the Bills are 2 games behind the Patriots. They're currently at 7-3. Patriots are 9-2. So top of the East, I believe they are. Yeah, they're on top of the East, top of the AFC as of right now. There too. So we're just gonna have to wait and see what Drake may have more has in store for this Patriots team.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, they, like you said, up 2 games to hold the tiebreaker as of now, and they still host the Bills in a couple weeks. So
Yeah.
it's very exciting to see how the AFC East race ends
Mhm.
up. But moving into Sunday, one more international game to get into. Our first ever game in Madrid, Spain, in the beautiful Santiago Bernabéu. And I mean, honestly, I mean, Christian, let's just be honest. The people of Madrid were not treated to a classic in this. I mean, hey, they got some overtime
No.
football, so it was great, but they got a little more what they were used to start the game off. Just a bunch of kicks. Um, pretty boring to start, a bunch of field goals, but I mean, the Dolphins got this one done. They were able to close out that international slate with a win, piling up a couple wins, I believe 3 in their last 4. So I know the Dolphins fans aren't too happy to get those moral victories, but at the end of the day, there's a real chance that McDaniels is playing to save his job right now, and with saving some sort of culture in this team, it's starting to work out a little well. I mean, Tua, not a great performance, especially that first half. He's taking sacks, holding onto the ball too long, especially in the red zone. But at the end of the day, he did what he had to do. I mean, a decent rushing game overall to kind of make up for a pretty mediocre passing game. But the story of this game was the run game for the Dolphins. I mean, Devon Achane's back. He didn't get in the end zone, but Ollie Gordon did. And Achane with 120 rushing yards and 45 receiving. So you see the pieces are there for Miami, but I mean, obviously it hasn't materialized just yet. But they honestly have a pretty easy schedule. I know they're just moral victories, but if they close out the season strong, don't be surprised if McDaniels is still here. And for the Commanders, this makes 6 straight losses. I know it hurts when you don't have Terry, you don't have JD, but I mean, this team outside just those 2 pieces was expected to be a lot better. And a performance like this to out in Madrid, I know you got the travel and everything, but I mean, the first play over overtime epitomizes how this season has gone. A interception, first play to Jack Jones. He hits the Cristiano Ronaldo celebration, and I mean, defense was making some plays for the Commanders. They just couldn't capitalize, and they go down to a 3-8 now. Just really disappointing for one of the sleeper teams this year.
Yeah, Dolphins are finally getting the rhythm this late, but like you said, their schedule is not looking too difficult, so maybe they can make a push, but we'll have to see, especially with how strong that AFC is. But moving in and back into the NFC with the South and the Panthers and the Falcons, and again, we had a great week of games, and this was one of them there too. Now, the past couple of weeks, Bryce Young wasn't really a huge factor in those games, and this one in overtime, he definitely was. 448 yards, 3 touchdowns. I believe this is a career high for Bryce Young in passing yards, so he's finally getting the milestones, being one of the factors on this offense, being one of the main reasons they won this game, alongside with his connection with Tedor McMillan. 130 yards, 2 touchdowns, and then Xavier Leggett also finally getting one with 83 yards and a touchdown. So this whole offense was run against this Falcons team, whose defense has been keeping them in the game there too. too. So big shout out to them. But really, for this, it was the Falcons. Michael Penix is done for the season, which is gonna make his fifth, I believe, his fifth career season in an injury.
Yeah.
And then Drake London is gonna miss at least week 12. This whole Falcons team has been going through not even ups and downs. It was just straight down since starting 3-2. Everything they're just going straight downhill. Bijan Robinson had himself a game, but he's pretty much a Lamborghini in a little shack right here. 104 yards and 2 touchdowns. I mean, he was pretty much the offense in this game. Michael Penix really wasn't doing anything other than just capping up 175 pad yards. It was Bijan keeping him in this game along with the defense and the Drake London passing 100, but that injury is obviously gonna bite him back in the next couple games too. But this Panthers team, they're 6-5. They're still making a run in the South, especially with how the Bucks are looking. Who they're on a losing streak, and the Panthers are on the rise there too. So this division could come down pretty easy. Not I want to say easy, but it's gonna be a really tough task for this Bucks team if they can't really pick it up because this Panthers team, they're right on their tail, and all we know, this Panthers could run away with the division.
Yeah, like you said, I mean, just getting into the Buccaneers as our next game. I mean,
Mhm.
tough loss against the Bills, and obviously both of these two teams coming off. Well, I mean, the Bills, it was a bigger loss, and you look at for them. I mean, it's huge to pick up this win against a top tier opponent like Tampa. But and let's be honest, started out pretty shaky for Josh Allen. He gets that, I mean, Will Levis type pitch interception to set up the Buccaneers in prime field position. Lucky to only give up a field goal, as like we were saying, this red zone offense has been struggling for Tampa, but Josh Allen ends up cleaning it up. Obviously, 317 and 3 touchdowns in the air, 40 and 3 more touchdowns on the ground. 6 total touchdowns for Josh Allen. He hasn't been consistent, but if he keeps these type of performances up, he could sneak back into the MVP conversation. But we'll have to just wait and see for that. But you also look at, I mean, just the our main issue with the Bills has been that receiver core. And I mean, throw another name in the mix. Tyrell Shavers, a 43-yard bomb. It was his only catch, but he made it matter for that touchdown. Not only catch, my mistake. 90 yards total. Only got a couple more on top of that. But I mean, this performance for Josh Allen was huge considering James Cook struggled, only 48 yards. There used to be a recipe for disaster. If James Cook couldn't get it going, it was probably telling that the Bills were going to end up losing the game. Huge for that to not be the case here. And I mean, for Tampa, the story was also the run game. Sean Tucker shine. I mean, no Bucky, no problem this time. 160 yards and 2 touchdowns. Again, exposing that Bills run defense that has been struggling as of late. But the main issue here, Baker wasn't on it. 173 yards, a touchdown, and interception. He's going to have to pick it up because, as you just said right now, Carolina is right on their tails, and this is coming down to look like a really interesting division race.
Yeah, I mean both these divisions, the AFC East and the NFC South, Patriots,
Absolutely.
they're up there right now there too. But the Bills, like I said, they're just 2 games behind. They can make their way back there too with a couple shows from the Patriots and the South. It's not running away yet. It's very, very neck to neck between the Panthers and the Bucks. But moving on back to the AFC with the Texans and the Titans in the AFC South. Yeah, this was just another disappointing show for the Texans. I mean, one thing to say is Davis Mills is having a better, he's already doing better than what CJ Stroud has been doing as he was a starter. 274 yards and 1 touchdown. By all means, was this not a really great Texans game against the 1-9 Titans? But compared to how CJ Stroud was playing before he was injured, Davis Mills is already doing a great job right there too. He's already building up his agenda to him potentially be a starter for next season, even out there too. Maybe just solidify himself as a backup, and he's showing this right now too because it was a very slow game for both these teams. For the Titans, it's pretty much the same story. They start off slow, Cam Ward no weapons, but I mean, you see Cam Ward 194 yards, 1 touchdown for Cam Ward standards. That's a great game, and you're looking on the receiving end too with all these guys. Chigo Okonkwo was his leading guy with 56 yards. So I mean, this whole receiving core, that just showing you absolutely no help. And then him also leading on the ground with 33 rush yards. Tony Pollard behind him with 22. So it's the same story with the Titans that I've been saying. We've been saying this whole season is there's no weapons. He has no help. The coaching has not been it, right? It's a recipe for disaster. He's been set up for failure this whole season, and we see this. As for the Texans, they're 5-5. Looking at that AFC South, right, with the Colts pretty much running away, probably going to run away with the division. Jags slowly climbing their way up. But I really don't see any future for the Texans here, other than just like you said, more of these morale wins. Because other than this, Nico Collins had himself a great game, but the performance against this Titans team, against the 1-9 Titans, it's really disappointing. And I really don't see them doing anything further along.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, I feel it's hard to take much away from this game in general, just considering, I mean,
Yeah.
The Titans, I mean, it's a throwaway to begin with in Houston. I mean, you expected better if this was your chance. I mean, yeah, you're still in the race, but I mean, to only put up 16 against the Titans, I mean, you're probably not putting up any better against the Colts. But I mean, let's move into another divisional battle with the Bears and the Vikings. And I mean, this one had the makings of a shootout. You could have expected a little better, but I mean, not as interesting from the grand scheme of things. I mean, it ended up coming down to a Cairo Santos walk-off field goal to give the Bears another victory, and it really shouldn't have been this close. As relatively poor as the stat line looks for Caleb Williams, I mean, that really doesn't tell the full story. He was, I mean, keeping drives alive. Bears were put into multiple third and long situations by this Vikings defense, and I mean Caleb made them work in these eventual scoring drives. He didn't pass for a touchdown, but he set up that nice 70 something yard drive to set up Manungai, who's also, I mean, again, not a great game for him, but he obviously getting into the end zone. Swift kind of getting himself back into the swing of things, but just all things considered, the Bears are 7-3. And if I'm not mistaken, they're at the top of the North right now. Who would have thought that going into this season? So, I mean, Ben Johnson obviously making moves in his first season in here. And you look at the Vikings. Now, I mean, this game in the end was a toss-up, but I mean, you look at JJ McCarthy's performance, that kind of was the difference here. I mean, he can show some flashes here and there, but in this game and really in the last 2 weeks, he's just been flat out awful. I mean, in this on 150 yards and two picks on 50% completion percentage. Even if he showed any kind of flashes, like I said, anytime like any receiver not named Jefferson probably was going to end up dropping it. Now, I know it's early. I don't want to say too much, but we might have to start having a conversation about JJ's future if he doesn't start, you know, picking it up pretty soon.
Yeah, I just checked right now. The Bears are up in the division at 7-3. Packers are right behind them at 6-3-1. Then the Lions at 6-4. So really would I have expected the Bears to be on top of the North, especially this come around there too. But hey, Caleb Williams is finally having himself a season. But keeping it in the North with the Packers, facing off against the Giants, and let's just say, I mean, the agenda keeps building up with the Packers on Fraud Watch without the performance against this Giants team. I mean Jordan Love. I mean to start off the game, I mean he really wasn't looking too well. And sure, yeah, the run game was not helping him at all. Whereas Josh Jacobs was pooped the bucket on this, only 40 yards off 7 carries. Emmanuel Wilson led the way. He also did get 40 yards, same as Jacobs, but he did cap up the touchdown to kind of help them out too. But to struggle against the Giants team to, especially with Jay Boo finally getting the start for the Giants, leading the way. Jameis, by all means, wasn't having a bad game at all whatsoever, aside from that one pick he threw late game, which, obviously, it isn't a Jameis Winston game without an interception, am I right? And that exactly showed, but he really didn't play at all bad whatsoever, especially against a Packers team who's supposed to be one of the top teams in the NFC. But again, this game just continued to show that this Packers offense, it's not scary. It's not blowing anyone away at all whatsoever. Their receiving core, nobody is scary. Romeo Dobbs led away with 53 yards, but Christian Watson capped off 2 touchdowns for the Packers to kind of keep themselves in the game. But this offense isn't scary whatsoever. If Josh Jacobs isn't getting going on the ground game early on, and we saw this offense it's not going to blow anyone out the water. It's not come playoff time. It's definitely not going to show anything for this Packers team, especially this performance against the Giants. And it really just showed there too. The offense was finding a way against this Packers defense. And I mean, they're 6-3-1, second in the North. They're probably still going to get in the playoffs, but I just don't see anything flashy. I don't see how any team should be scared of this Packers team.
Yeah, you put it perfectly there. No one's scared about this team. I mean, we've been saying it before,
Yeah.
they're not beating the upper echelon of the NFC right now. I mean, they have time to prove it, but as of right now, they're not scaring no one. Now, you go into another potential playoff team that isn't scaring anyone, the Bengals and the Steelers in this one. The Steelers pulled it out. The Steelers got a very important victory here, keeping pace. I mean, maintaining at the top of the North with the Ravens hot on their tail. Huge win regardless. Aaron Rodgers leaves this game in the second quarter with a wrist injury. Mason Rudolph, he picks up the slack for his own 127 yards and a touchdown to Kenneth Gainwell, who leading receiver on the day with 81 yards and two touchdown receptions, one from Rudolph and one from Rodgers. So, I mean, all things considered, I mean, sure, it was a great game for Gainwell, but that tells you a lot about this receiving game right now for the Steelers. I mean, where is DK Metcalf? I mean, the star acquisition, you give up Pickens, putting all your trust in him, hasn't really had the impact you're expecting out of him. So that's obviously going to be one of the main things you look into moving forward. And I mean, defensively, statement made. I mean, new acquisition, Kyle Duggar, 73-yard pick six. James Pierre ices this game with a 34-yard scoop and score. That defense that we've been talking about, they haven't been scaring us lately. Sure, it was just against the Bengals defense that has been struggling, but they finally made a statement here. Now, with the Bengals, I mean, what happened here? I mean, all of a sudden the defense actually holds up for once. I mean, you hold Pittsburgh to only 20 points. Usually with your offense, that's a recipe for success. And then, I mean, sure, it's Joe Flacco, but he couldn't get anything going. You see Jamar Chase, only three catches for 30 yards. And that whole debacle with Jalen Ramsey, that now he's going to miss a game going into next week. He'll appeal it, but I mean, realistically, we all saw the footage. I mean, what a boneheaded move from Jamar to spit. I mean, trying to channel his inner Jalen Carter from earlier this season. But I mean, yeah, it was just disappointing. This eventually, I mean, after you already saw that you were able to get it done just a couple weeks ago, you had the makings to sweep the Steelers in this one and maybe keep your playoff hopes alive, but this one pretty much shuts it down, puts those hopes to bed. And at this point, Joe Burrow could be coming back, but you really think about it, why would he? Just at this point, he's injury prone enough, coming back from a major injury. Don't even rush it, just save him for some type of run in 26.
Yeah, if Joe Burrow ends up coming back earlier than expected, which he probably is, it'd be stupid. It'd be really stupid to start him at this point. Just tank it out, get the draft pick, improve that whole team. Because it'd be really dumb. It's working out for the Ravens. It is with Lamar Jackson coming back. It is working out for them, but that doesn't mean it's going to work out for the Dolphins, especially with their defense. But moving in, still keeping it in the AFC with two potential playoff teams, with the Jaguars swamping the Chargers, and we see Mr. Hypothetical Man Justin Herbert finally showing his true colors once again. 81 yards and one interception. I mean, like we said, I mean, yeah, I picked the Chargers in this one just because of the way the Jaguars are, but I mean, it is only a matter of time until just we've been saying it too the past couple of weeks. It was only going to be a matter of time until Justin Herbert finally comes back to what if man, Mr. Hypothetical Man, and this is exactly show there too. And then on the Jaguars, really the Chargers couldn't stop. What's the ground game? I mean, by Show Tuden and the Travis Etienne Jr., 74 yards, 73 yards, three touchdowns combined, along with Trevor Lawrence's one rush touchdown as well. So, four touchdowns on the ground. Very impressive for this Jaguars team. Chargers really could have an answer for that. Trevor Lawrence, I mean, I'm not going to hold him. He didn't have himself a great game as well. 153 yards, a touchdown, and an interception. So, nothing too great on the pass attack. It was really the rush attack that really swamped the Charger in this one there too. And then Jacoby Myers, new answer to the Jaguars' first game, 64 yards. So at least he's happy he's not in Vegas. At least he's happy he's not with the Raiders. Actually putting up with a pretty decent team there too. But like I mentioned, the passing wasn't really all that. It was the run game. Now you're looking at the Chargers. They're 7-4. They're still looking to make a nice playoff push there too. But like we said, Justin Herbert. It's only a matter of time. He starts showing his true colors again.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, my balls were telling me the Jaguars, but I didn't trust them enough. And I mean, look, there you go. I mean, Mr. Hypothetical
Yep.
strikes again. But moving to the other LA team, and what a game this was. I made a last second choice to pull up to SoFi to take this one in. And I mean, boy, was it an experience. I mean, story of this game was the defense, man. I mean, phenomenal showing for him. I mean, everyone's main concern with this Rams team was that secondary. It's been the secondary for years now, and nothing really changed this year. But I mean, what they gonna say now? Four interceptions against one of the MVP front runners in Sam Darnold getting exposed in this one. Cam Kinchen's getting two, D Well and Durant getting their own. And don't let that 100-yard game by JSN fool you. I mean, let's be completely honest going into that final drive. He only had 60 yards. He was getting clamped by Emmanuel Forbes, who's on a phenomenal resurgence with his own going into this season. I mean, JSN was just a non-factor. In the end, a bunch of empty yards that didn't mean much. And I'm not gonna oh, devil's advocate too. I mean, Puka didn't really do much too, and I'm gonna give the flowers to the Seahawks defense. I mean, they shut us down in that second half for the most part too. I mean, sure, Matthew Stafford, he did, he gave you those ebbs and flows of that MVP conversation with those three touchdown drives, but apart from that, he was looking silly. He was playing safe too much. Uh his accuracy was taking a hit little by little. Devontae, I mean, hey, congratulations, your 1,000th catch for that touchdown, but apart from that, nothing. One catch and 1 yard on this whole game, but I mean, at the end of the day, I mean, this was just a clash of two giants. I mean, also gotta show your love for the run game. I mean, Kyron Williams, 91 yards on 12 carries, also getting into the end zone. It just baffles me, McVay not using him as much. I mean, he just went away from him in the end of the game. Not, I mean, at that point, just use Kyron. You're going into Corum so much. I mean, we don't need a split backfield. I know Corum, I do show my love for him at times, but I mean, when Kyron's on a heater like this, you gotta ride him out as much as you can. So, I mean, at the end of the day, a win's a win. Lonely at the top of the NFC West at 8-2, but to get four interceptions and only win by the other kicker missing a 60-yard field goal, it's a little dicey.
Yeah, I mean the Rams when they were up 14-3. I mean, I believe it was 14-3. I mean, three
Yeah.
straight three and outs. I mean, that whole offense. I mean, nothing was going on. It was a Kyron Williams game that
Credit,
was pretty much
and
picking
I
up
will
the
say
slack.
credit to the Seahawks defense, which I've
Yeah, that's what.
been
Yeah, it was two great teams, and it was a great Seahawks team, and they were doing the job with the most. Jason Myers at least getting the field goals up to get the Seahawks in range. But it was really just Sam Darnold and those four interceptions that really killed the Seahawks team, and to lose just by 2, 3 points,
just by
19 to
two.
20. Yeah, to just lose by 2 points should show more on the Rams game. But I mean, like you said, it was a battle of two top teams in
I will
the
say
in
that,
the league, and
you
this is
know,
what you're gonna expect.
a clash of two tough defenses, but
Yeah.
that Seahawks offense got exposed, plain and simple.
Yeah, it was just a turnover battle that the Rams, were the that got the lucky part on it. But like we said, like Brad's probably that gonna be the division right there that we've been mentioning. But keeping it with the NFC West and how tight it was, the Niners defeating the Cardinals. You know, I just want to give a big shout out to Jacoby Brissett. I mean, he was having himself a game. The Cardinals were in well scoring position, but those two interceptions, man, from Jacoby Brissett, it could have been a closer game than expected. He was balling 47 completions, which I believe is an NFL record now, if I'm not mistaken. But 452 yards, two touchdowns, and the two interceptions. That's what killed the Cardinals' hopes there too. Everybody aside from the run game, everyone on the receiving end was cooking. Michael Wilson, 185 yards. Trey McBride just cooking up, having the heaters he's been having lately. 115 yards and a touchdown. Greg Dortch getting the mix with 66 and a touchdown. Everybody on this offense was cooking. But like I mentioned, those two interceptions from Brissett was pretty much the game changer. I mean, he wasn't sacked at all. The only one was doing his job. The offense was keeping pace with the Niners team. But the story of this was just keep saying it. It's the interceptions that they kept getting on to score drive in the red zone. But you're looking on the Niners side, they took advantage of that. Brock Purdy with his return, 200 yards and three touchdowns. Really sad as stuff. A really great game there too on the quarterback, not turning the ball over, which is another great sign for this Niners team. And the Christian McCaffrey on the ground, 81 yards and two touchdowns. Still, picking it up, on the ground game. And then George Kittle obviously being another benefactor there too with two touchdowns. So this Niners team, they're still not out of the race. They're probably going to sink their way in that, in that playoff race, but especially with all the injuries they've dealt with this whole season. But when we're talking about the division, the Rams are already up there. I honestly don't think they're going to get past the Seahawks there too. So I still do think they're going to stay at the third spot in the NFC West. We'll just have to see how the other seeding implications happen with the other teams in the divisions.
Yeah, of course. But at the end of the day, I mean, considering all the injuries, I mean, it's commendable that they're still in the race
Yeah,
regardless. I mean,
7-4,
plain and
seven and
simple.
four. Yeah.
It, I mean, Shanahan's doing a phenomenal job with it to be able to, use that depth and, credit to them. But move it into, I see right back another divisional matchup in the North with the Ravens and the Browns, and fourth straight wins for the Ravens, back to 500, right on Pittsburgh's tail. Again, huge win for the Ravens here, cannot be understated. The run game, of course, being probably at the forefront of this one. Derrick Henry bouncing back over 100 yards and a touchdown. But arguably the most impressive rushing performance came from Mark Andrews of all people. That fourth down fake tush push sneak going a direct snap to him to ice the game with that touchdown. I believe it was a 35-yard rush. I mean, what a call from Todd Monken to ice this game. I mean, really, really nice. I can't say enough about that. But you needed every bit of that run game because I mean it was a tough game from Lamar Jackson, plain and simple. Two interceptions, no touchdowns, didn't crack 200 yards. And going to the Browns side, it's no surprise that Lamar struggled considering this defense. I mean, Miles Garrett in his face all game with four sacks, and then of course the Devin Bush interception going that pick six. That at this point of the game, the Browns were up 10. So I mean. So, once again, on upset watch, the Browns being that sneaky team. But the end, Dylan Gabriel going down with that concussion. He wasn't playing great. sure, but I mean, maybe that did slow a little momentum. That did give us way for the much anticipated NFL debut of Shador Sanders, and eh, I mean, it was a stinker. Let's be honest. 4 for 16, 47 yards, picked off by Nate Wiggins. Look, it's not great, but it's also not a great situation to get thrown into in that offense mid-game just like that. I mean, stay ready, but it wasn't great showing. But yeah, also, I mean, look, Gabriel's in concussion protocol. Haven't seen specifically if he's going to be ready next week, but I mean, if he's not, I mean, Shador gets another chance. He gets a full game opportunity, a full week to prepare. I'm still anticipating to see what he can do. I'm not going to judge him off of this game, but that was a rough debut, man.
I mean, yeah, I'm not gonna hold it too much. I mean, not getting first team reps, getting thrown in a situation in a close game against a divisional opponent. Obviously, he wasn't gonna have a great showing there too. But like you said, he has a week to prepare. Finally getting the first team reps. If Dylan Gabriel is still gonna be on concussion protocol, so we're gonna have to wait to see. And we finally got to see some short time, so at least that was something great to see. But it'll be next week to see the actual test to see what's going to be on with the Browns team. But now moving on with the AFC West, another tough division with the Broncos and the Chiefs. And the Chiefs, 5-5, again, once again, still out of the playoff picture. A lot to say on this one there too, but this is gonna be a close game. It was a close game all around there too. Everything was not going there. It was a tale of two defenses. It was really just gonna be whose offense can really get the first touchdown, and that was gonna be game there too. Towards the second half is where it really got a little bit more of the action there too. And really, it was Bo Nix. Bo Nix, sure, yeah, he wasn't, playing the best, for the first half, everything. Same with Mahomes. None of them were, but it really just came down towards the end, to set up that game-winning field goal for the Broncos team. 9-2, top of the division, and they really needed this, especially with their last couple games barely winning by, just a couple inches of a couple points there too, against teams that they really should have swamped out the water. But against this Chiefs team who's really hungry and is really looking to make that comeback, it was a really nice, successful win for this Broncos team. Shout out their defense, and then Bo Nix, no touchdowns, but no interceptions. So at least that's a great sign. The run game was completely non-existent at all whatsoever. So the defense was really what helped out Bo Nix to get them in score position towards late in the end game. But as for the Chiefs, they're 5-5. They're gonna need to make a run pretty quickly here if they want to sneak into that wild card spot, which is something crazy to say. Chiefs, you know, sneaking their way into the wild card spot. Never thought I would have said, especially this past couple years. And the Broncos, 9-2, top of the division. Like I said, could have been an ugly game, but it was definitely a game like this that they really need, and they're gonna have to clean it up.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, to think that that run of dominance is finally coming in for the Chiefs. I mean, there's still a lot of season left. Don't get me wrong, but
Yeah.
at the way this rate's going with, I mean, all the division losses that they've already piled up, it's hard to see them getting back at least for the divisional side of things. But moving into Sunday night and this much anticipated matchup of two giants fell a little flat, at least offensively. I mean, we know these two teams have some great defenses and they showed out. Now, starting with the Eagles, I mean, the offense is still not there, man. And credit to the Lions defense, like I said, but I mean, it's still. I mean, Kevin Patullo's offense does not look good. I mean, we see some flashes, but I mean, the Lions did their thing. I mean, Jalen Hurts held to only 135 yards. AJ Brown, after all the whining, he gets his target share finally, 11 targets, only 7 catches for 49 yards, and that's your leading receiver, not even cracking 50 yards. Devontae, your second best receiver, 1 catch for 8 yards. I mean, not much you can say. I mean, Saquon over 80 yards. That's something he kind of hasn't done all year, so that's a positive, sure. But I mean, not a lot of positives to take away. To only scoring 16 points in the grand scheme of things. But the positive here is that Vic Fangio defense. I mean, to hold the Lions 0 for 5 on fourth down, I think in some ways that does say a little more about Dan Campbell being a little overzealous on some of these calls. And I know, live by the fourth down, die by the fourth down, but I mean, the Lions died by it this time. I mean, Quinyon Mitchell, I mean, arguably the player of the game defensively, targeted 6 times, no catches allowed. Jared Goff didn't look his way the whole rest of the game. And I mean, you also look at the rest of the shortcomings for the Lions. Jahmyr Gibbs was your leading receiver at 5 catches and 107 yards. No Amon-Ra on this one, only 2 catches for 2 targets. We were talking about this was it going to be a JMO or a Amon-Ra type game? Neither of them really. I mean, JMO got the touchdown, but I mean, through the air, I mean, both of these teams really struggled through the air. And I mean, of course, the acquisition of Jalen Phillips continuing to pay dividends for for the Eagles, obviously making a huge play on that fumble late in the game. But I think we all know the story of this one. That late PI call, I mean, you feel for Rocky Sin. He played some great defense in this game, and for it to come down to that play, I mean, shout out to Chris Collinsworth for actually calling it out live on the broadcast. I mean, that was such a horrible call for it to come down to it. But let's also be honest, the way Goff was looking in this game, I mean, it was probably going to be another 4-and-out anyway. But I mean, huge win for Philly. They go to the top of the NFC just on the tiebreaker with my Rams. So it's looking like a great race going down to it for the top of the NFC right now.
Yeah, honestly, the call was a lot of BS, but the way like you mentioned, the Lions were playing our game, you really can't, put the fault on all of that there too. But obviously, like I said, it was a really bad call. It would have gave the Lions another scoring position, another not scoring position, but it would have given them an opportunity to, to score and get themselves in the game. But like you said, it's just more bouncing back from that. The Eagles once again, the lone at the top. But now we want the Monday Nighter, and for once, we didn't let a bad team do this to us. The Cowboys finally. They won on Monday night after losing Monday night to the Cardinals. And once again, Dak Prescott, after having, a couple, the first two drives were not looking too well, bounced back, 260 yards and 4 touchdowns. Aside from the fumble he lost, clean football with 0 interception and just 1 sack. That O-line, shout out to Tyler Guyton playing his first shutout game, 0 sacks, 0 pressures. He's finally starting to pick it up there too. So everyone on this team was cooking. Now, first drive, CD and Pickens, they were benched for the first drive. Coach's decision. Apparently, nothing confirmed yet. Apparently, they were at the casino, and I guess CeeDee Lamb was throwing up. Don't know how accurate that information is. We're gonna have to wait and see later on. But hey, man, what happens in Vegas stays in Vegas. Everyone does the same. But hey, keep letting them gambling. Let both of them gamble. I mean, Pickens, 9 catches, 144 yards, 1 touchdown. CD, 5 catches, 66 yards, and 1 touchdown. Shout out Dak and Pickens for winning me my fantasy matchup as well. But aside from all the jokes, this is exactly what the Cowboys needed to keep themselves in the playoff race. I mean, 4-5-1, second in the NFC. Obviously, the Eagles are a couple games behind us, but this is exactly what we needed. They shut out Ashton Jeanty, 6 carries for 7 yards, so that was a good thing. Geno Smith letting the carry, but Geno 238 yards, 1 touchdown, 1 interception. Just a couple stat paddock. He really wasn't doing anything, but the defense finally getting some stops. Sure, yeah, it was the worst offense in the league, but they definitely needed this one. DaRon Bland, he had himself a game. Brock Bowers did get some yardage there, but on DaRon Bland, he is really shutting it out. Overshown, finally nice to see him on the field. Wasn't a huge factor, just got himself a tackle, but hey, he's coming back from that horrible injury that he suffered last season. He's going to slowly pick his way up. But now, the big story for the Cowboys is this 11-day stretch. They're going to host the Eagles and the Chiefs, who are in desperate need of a win, and then they're going to travel to Detroit to face the Lions. So this 3-game stretch in 11 days, this is really going to determine whether or not the Cowboys are going to sneak their way into the playoffs. So this is going to be a good one. I know for football fans, this is going to be a feast, but this is going to be a tough one for the Cowboys. Hey, they've done it before in 2018. Why not do it now? But that's going to be the real test, especially against really three great offenses.
Well, that 2018 team had a better defense,
It
plain
did.
and
It re-
simple.
I missed that. I missed that 2018 team so bad. I really missed that team. But
And let's not
like I
forget how that
said,
season ended at the
exactly.
Coliseum in the
But
divisional round.
that 3-game stretch is gonna determine everything, and it's really gonna determine my mental health, whether or not I have a good Thanksgiving and I have a good Christmas.
I'm gonna be enjoying Christmas and Thanksgiving regardless with that slate of games we're getting. But
Yep.
I know you got a little bit of, you're not a neutral in that one, so you're gonna be a little anxious on
Yep.
it. But I mean, yeah, that wraps up a phenomenal slate of games, plain and simple. And let's get into those game picks, Christian, and
Hell no.
3-0. Get 3-0 on this one. I mean, it was just some last second decisions I had to make in there. Was it the Dolphins taking it? The Rams game, of course. I mean, I don't know
Yeah.
why you're trusting Sam Darnold.
They
And
almost paid
what
him.
was that other one? It's
Yeah, I
just my
forgot
mind.
too.
We had one more
Yeah.
disagreement in this one, but yeah, I mean, a nice little pickup for me. I go up 12-7 on disagreement. So we'll see. We'll see if we can get back next week. But I mean, yeah. Thank you guys for tuning in. Be sure to like and subscribe, and be sure to find us on Titan Radio Thursday morning for Bean Talk.